In the year 2053, after the last war, the crime rate has surged by over 800%, overwhelming the entire prison system. To deal with this crisis, the government introduced the box rehabilitation program, a method once considered completely inhuman. Under this program, prisoners are given only two choices: instant extermination or serving their full sentence inside a small box. Food and water are provided only at the discretion of the lawful citizens they betrayed, and if anyone attempts to escape, they are immediately exterminated. Inside one of these boxes, a French woman struggles to survive, covered in wounds. She was sentenced to 4 years and still has a little over 2 years left. Her pot is empty, and when she opens the hatch expecting food, she instead finds a razor blade. After moments of hesitation, she finally gives up and uses the razor to end her life. On a rocky island in Australia, dozens of these boxes stand near the coastline. One day, two kids playing nearby throw a rubber band ball at one of the boxes, waking up the woman inside. Prisoner 13. Prisoner 13 discovers her hands and legs are tied. She pulls at the rope using her teeth until she manages to free herself. Her sentence is 7 years, and today is only her first day. Suddenly, a light on the wall beeps and the hatch opens. 13 looks out and sees the kids walking away. Just a second later, the light beeps again and the hatch shuts. As she begs for freedom, a screen inside the box activates, playing a video that explains how the system works. It ends by telling her that she is exactly where she chose to be. Breaking down, 13 screams, punches the walls, and insists she is innocent, until she eventually cries herself to sleep. Later, the hatch opens again. She quickly places her pot outside, hoping for food, but nothing comes. She begins inspecting every corner of the box for a way out. But when she touches a certain spot for too long, a small shock hits her hand. Still, she continues searching until there is nothing left to check. Hours pass. The isolation begins to crush her mind. With nothing else to do, she scratches the walls with her nails just to feel occupied. Meanwhile, in another box, a different prisoner wakes up. Her sentence is 2 years and she still has over 500 days left. Sometimes she hears a voice through her hatch asking if she's still alive. One evening, she tries tampering with the light panel. The camera inside the box catches her instantly. An alarm blares and a voice announces that extermination is imminent. Metal rods begin to descend from the ceiling. Panicked, she screams for help through the open hatch, but no one responds. She lies flat on the floor, staring in horror as the rods lower, stopping just inches from her face. The countdown glitches, and for a moment, she smiles, thinking she's safe. But then the glitch ends, and the rods continue downward, crushing her to death. The next morning, 13 continues searching every inch of her box, but still finds nothing useful. When it begins to rain, she places her pot near the hatch to collect water and finally gets a drink. Sometime later, she wakes from a nap to the sound of a voice. A young girl stands outside the hatch, asking about her sentence. When she hears 7 years, she assumes 13 must be a political prisoner. The girl fills her pot with fresh water and gives her a small bag of food pellets, which 13 devours immediately. But when 13 pleads her innocence, the girl simply repeats that citizens decide each prisoner's fate. The isolation becomes unbearable. She grabs the rope and attempts to take her own life. For several seconds, she can't breathe. But just before she passes out, her hands release the rope. She falls to the floor, breaking down again, realizing she can't even control her own death. Months go by. 13 is still alive, still trapped. She's given seeds wrapped in a newspaper, so she drops them into her bowl and holds the paper up to the hatch for light. But the articles are in a language she can't read. She cries, feeling completely tortured. One day, she stretches her arm outside the hatch and manages to find the rubber band ball the kids threw earlier. At least now she has something to keep herself distracted. More days pass, nothing changes. She sleeps, plays with the ball, and waits for the hatch to open so she can look at the landscape and feel a little sunlight. Soon, sores and wounds begin to appear on her body, growing worse with every passing day. Meanwhile, in another box, a man is serving his 5-year sentence. He has already completed 1,000 days, and by now, he is nothing more than an empty shell, constantly repeating to himself, "I am where I choose to be." One afternoon, a drone lifts 13's box and drops it into a forest filled with dozens of other prisoners. The young girl returns and asks 13 what she's doing. 13 simply replies, "Rehabilitation." The girl then mentions she has been reading Shakespeare, a writer who has been banned for a long time. 13 admits she doesn't recognize the name, but clarifies that she can read. She's just not allowed to inside the box. After pointing out that there can never be rehabilitation without books, The girl gently holds 13's hand and recites a line from Romeo and Juliet. 13 finds the words beautiful and hopes she can read them one day. The girl tries to hand her the book, but 13 refuses, afraid of the consequences. Instead, the girl gives her some food and promises to return and read to her again. After the girl leaves, 13 keeps thinking about her touch and her lips. Eventually, overwhelmed with loneliness and desire, she touches herself while the camera records everything. A full year passes. While eating seeds from a new batch, 13 discovers a tiny book hidden among them. She lies down with her back to the camera and opens it. Inside is Romeo and Juliet. The poetic lines fill her with hope again. The next time she receives fresh water, 13 washes her body carefully, making sure to clean her wounds despite the pain. Afterwards, she tosses the dirty water outside. The camera detects this and flags it as wasting water, causing her box to be relocated back to the coast. Eventually, the girl visits her again and wonders why 13 has been moved. Instead of explaining, 13 asks how she decides which prisoners to feed. The girl says she simply walks around and talks to as many boxes as she can. Today, a storm is approaching, so her visit will be short. 13 asks her age and learns she is 16, which reminds 13 of her sister, who passed away long ago. Weeks continue to pass. 13's only comfort is the little book. She hides it in a small crevice inside the box and takes it out carefully whenever she wants to read, always turning her back to the camera. Some nights she is so desperate for the words that she reads them under the moonlight, even though it's far dimmer than the sun. One day, a drone moves the box again. 13 watches the ocean below as she's flown to yet another location. Once it lands, a man appears at the hatch, eating an apple just to taunt her. Crying, she begs for a bite and pleads for mercy, but he coldly tells her he shows no kindness to animals in boxes. If it were up to him, every prisoner would be executed with no rehabilitation. After arguing for a moment, the man says he'll make a trade. She can have the apple if she lets him violate her. Desperate for food, 13 agrees and presses her body against the hatch. As the man assaults her, a patrolling drone catches them. It opens fire, killing the man instantly. One of the bullets passes through the hatch and hits 13's leg. Despite the agonizing pain, 13 reaches outside, grabs the apple, and devours it, only to discover it's full of worms. She vomits immediately. That night, 13 is awakened by a loud alarm. A voice states that trading for food is forbidden, and therefore she will be punished. Her sentence: 7 full days of insomnia. This is her only warning. If she breaks the rules again, she will be exterminated. A blinding light turns on inside the box, and the alarm blares endlessly. For 7 straight days, 13 cannot sleep. She tries covering her eyes and ears with her shirt, but nothing works. She can only scream in frustration as her mind spirals downward. Occasionally, the alarm stops, giving her hope. But the moment she closes her eyes, it starts again. During this torture, 13 reaches the 2-year mark of her sentence. Sometime later, 13 notices people outside living their lives freely. Then suddenly, the voice returns. It announces that she has endured a wrongful conviction, and the citizens have agreed to release her. A beautiful female face suddenly appears at the hatch and somehow crawls inside the box. 13 thinks she looks familiar, but she can't place her. The woman sits casually on a couch playing with a teacup and explains that none of this is real. It's all a hallucination. 13 isn't being released. In fact, this beautiful woman is how she looked before she was captured. The hallucination explains how the mind can twist reality during extreme isolation and laughs hysterically while 13 cries in agony. When the box finally announces that the punishment is over, 13 collapses into sleep. The hallucination fades, but the trauma remains. A few nights later, 13 sees fireworks lighting up the sky. The box voice explains that it's New Year's, and to celebrate, the citizens have chosen to grant amnesty to all box prisoners, except those convicted politically. That means 13 stays trapped. That night, she discovers she's beginning to lose her teeth. One morning, an elderly woman appears outside her box, tapping the metal with a rusty razor. She explains she spent 15 years inside a box, and the experience shaped her into someone she hates. She passes the razor to 13 before leaving. 13 holds it against her skin, but cannot bring herself to use it. Eventually, the Shakespeare-loving girl returns. It takes 13 a few seconds to realize she's not hallucinating this time. After giving her fresh water, the girl touches her hand and quotes from the book. This time, 13 is able to finish the sentence. Months pass, and 13's belly begins to swell. She is pregnant from the encounter with the man who traded the apple. The next time the girl visits, she tells 13 that her people want to rescue her and let her serve her sentence under their protection. Her words trigger an alarm, the hatch slams shut, and the girl runs off. 13 screams in despair, knowing she just lost her only chance. Weeks later, a new man appears at the hatch. Seeing that 13 is pregnant and still has 4 years left, he points at a burning box and asks if she recognizes mercy. He believes a quick death is the best she could hope for. 13 refuses. Later, she notices water dripping from the ceiling. She reaches up and removes a loose screw, using it to file her nails before dropping it. Then she begins scratching the hole, hoping to widen it. Months later, contractions begin. 13 gets on her knees and screams through the pain until she gives birth. Holding the newborn close, she bites through the umbilical cord. At that moment, the alarm rings. The box voice announces she has broken another rule, bringing a second person into the box. Termination is required. Gas fills the box, knocking her unconscious. When 13 wakes up, her baby is gone. She screams, breaks down, and begs for her child back. 4 years into her confinement, a massive storm pounds the island. Waves crash violently against the box. The holes 13 created allow water to pour in, short-circuiting the light panel. When she reaches out through the hatch to search for anything useful, the glitchy system slams the hatch shut on her arm. She screams in agony and pulls desperately, injuring herself further. Eventually, another glitch occurs and the hatch opens, releasing her, though her arm is broken. Later, 13 sees a bug crawling inside the box. She stomps on it, picks it up, and eats it, gagging the whole time. Water continues flooding inside, so she collects some in her pot, but the rising level soon becomes overwhelming. Even as the water rises, she holds on to her book, trying to read. Eventually, the water reaches a point where 13 can barely stand. The system detects the interference and announces extermination. As she struggles to stay afloat, a drone arrives to lift the box. But as it flies away, lightning strikes the drone, sending it crashing to the ground. The box falls too and is swept away by the waves. In the morning, 3 young people playing near the shore see the box wash up, followed by 13 herself. They glance at her, but ignore her and walk home. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss more videos like this. Thanks for watching.